look into the world of custom motorcycling. We've gathered some of the industry's top builders and fabricators on this stage to show you their skills live and in person. Watch as they chop, grind, and weld their creations into existence right before your very eyes. Feel free to ask questions at any time directly to your host, Pat Jansen. The doors to the shop are open, so pull up a stool, kick back, and welcome to the Grease and Gears Garage.
All right, folks, Grease and Gears Garage. Listen, we want to give a great big shout out to Progressive Motorcycle Insurance. They brought us here. They're taking us to 4 rallies. We just finished up the Progressive International Motorcycle Show Tour, 7 shows around the country, having a good time with them. In addition to that, we're going to be in Laconia, and we're going to be at the Blue Ridge Run in North Carolina. We're all over the place. People always are like, who are you guys? And I'm like, well, we're magicians.
And a half-inch wrench.
We're former models who have... No, he's looking at me. He's just waiting. He's like, there's no way you were a former model. I could be a plus-size model for dog food. But anyway, Grease and Gears Garage. We're mechanics in the custom motorcycle world. We have shops around the country. I'm from Iowa with Sin Central Garage. And we travel around with our tools, and we invite our custom motorcycle builder friends in to do one thing that they commonly do in their shop to customize a motorcycle. And so we narrow tanks, we build Springer front ends, frames, we build tanks from scratch on stage. We do all kinds of cool stuff. You can check us out. We Facebook Live it. You can check us out on the YouTube channel, Grease and Gears Garage, or go to Cycle Source Magazine. Also carries all of our live feeds and then archives these for us. So, but today we've got a guy from Florida. He might not be unfamiliar to you. He's a big deal in the custom motorcycle world. Out of Daytona from Bling Cycles, we got Bill Dodge. Bill, come on up. There's Bill Dodge, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And Bill is going to be doing something that's really common in the custom motorcycle world, but very few people actually figure out how to do it. Less figure out how to do it well. Even fewer do it by hand the way Bill's going to do it today. Bill, welcome to Grease and Gears Garage.
Thank you, brother.
Bill, where do we need to start? Bill is going to be shaving a lower leg for us is what he's going to do today.
Well, yeah, just about anybody can shave legs on a lathe. I mean, all the bike builders and all the guys do it, but most people just don't want to do it, just sanding it off or cutting it off and doing it by hand. It's really easy, and it'll show some people that don't have a lathe at home how they can fix up their bike a little bit, make it cooler. There
you go. You know, you might pick up, a lot of guys start off with custom bikes. They'll maybe go grab an old Honda or something, you know, because, you know, they don't want to, you know, put the money into something expensive. They don't know what they're doing. But you find a little Honda maybe or an old Yamaha that's running around. This is the kind of thing you can do. If you're going to make a little bobber out of it, a cafe racer, this can really dress it up. This really can take it to the next level. And it's so you can do this at home, but you can't do it unless somebody shows you how. So,
well, like for instance, the little red bark there in front of my booth, that was one that I did by hand, no lathe. I was under a storm. The storm came when I was building that bike, and all my machinery got killed by the salt water. So I just grabbed an angle grinder that one of my friends gave me, and I shaved those legs and finished that bike. You know, made that whole bike with near nothing.
There you go. Well, and it's always good to know that there are still people out there that are doing things by hand. You don't have to have $250,000 worth of equipment to build a $30,000 or $40,000 bike. You can do it with stuff in your garage. You know, just how much patience and time you're going to put into perfecting those skills is going to start separating you from the pack. So
yeah, it helped me a lot when the storm came and pretty much took out my shop. Most of the guys would have just had to give up. You know, they don't have no tools.
Yeah.
Luckily, all my old friends and grandpa and everybody taught me the right way to do it by hand. So I can do it without a machine.
There you go. Well, you got to.
A little angle grinder and a DA, and we'll do this.
And you're just whittling it. Now, of course, we've got two...
I got some wrenches going on
I know, look at this. This is the way it happens in your shop, right, Bill, over in Daytona?
Oh, yeah.
You walk in, and there's people working, taking apart the bike. No, that's not the way it works. Yeah, Bill.
I just walk by the bike, and the wheel falls off. That's what happens.
Anyway, we got a R.J. Powell from Cutting Edge Customs out of West Virginia, and we got Mark Perschetti out of Pennsylvania. He's with Flat Broke Chops and Rods. They're giving Bill a hand today. taking this front end apart.
A little secret is I have a show called the BC Moto that we all know about.
Yeah.
It's one of my new builders. That's
Oh, is he?
Right here. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
The world doesn't know yet, but now they do.
RJ, man, now you're going to be famous. Or really embarrassed. Depends on what
One
you
of the
take.
two, yeah.
So,
we're all idiots. We don't get embarrassed anymore.
so the first thing, of course, you got to do before you're going to shave a leg, don't do it on the bike. It's a worst possible scenario. Probably not the worst possible scenario, but you got to get them off.
Yeah.
So they're removing the front wheel. This is a 2001 Sportster that we're going to be working on. This bike is actually the donor bike. Grease and Gears Garage has been given the privilege and the opportunity to build a bike on stage over the 4 events that we're going to be with Progressive Motorcycle Insurance at rallies. We're going to build a bike for Progressive that's a little flat track inspired bike. It's going to have a little bit of a drop seat that Jeff Cochran is helping us out with, and Will Ramsey from Faith Forgotten. And so this bike, we're actually just going to start disassembling it. So this is the first move on building a bike that you'll see around the country with Progressive Motorcycle Insurance. We picked this up from my brother John Jansen over at Gainesville Harley Davidson. There's still bikes available out there, these older Sportsters that have gotten a little worn, we should say, kicked around a little bit.
No.
Oh, they're going to bring up a picture of the rendition that we've done for kind of what the frame's going to start looking like. And so we're going to do some frame modification to it, but basically leave it a Sportster. We got really lucky. You can pick up an old Sportster now like this for around $2,000, $2,500 if you keep your eye on Craigslist. This one was kind of beat. It more physically was beat than anything else. I bought it from my brother over there at Gainesville Harley because it was a trade-in, and of course the Harley dealer couldn't do anything with it. They just needed to wholesale it. So I bought this bike, and then I called Chris when I picked it up. I was like, dude, this thing, somebody did the Screaming Eagle 1250 conversion to the motor, and it's got a nice carburetor on it. It's got a chrome swing arm, so it started adding up. And so you can score a nice Sportster to actually build a little custom out of. That was what that was. That started as just this same kind of bike, and and that's going to be the T-Tracker that we're building for Twisted T on stage. We're going to work on that a little bit today as well. That'll get a little bit of love because that bike's got to be finished. So we're under some time schedules.
Need a hammer.
If you ever think working on your bike in your garage is intimidating, you ought to try doing it in front of a crowd of people while you're trying to be entertaining with tools that you're not familiar with using, and it's going to be saved forever on the internet. So you're forever in infamy. So we actually built a bike for the Progressive International Motorcycle Shows. Those 7 shows, we built a bike that we're going to race on the Salt Flats. We're going to do some land speed racing with it. Well, we put a GSXR front end on it. Chris and Mark and I aren't really familiar with the GSXR front end.
Let's just take that off.
We do Harleys. So we put this front end on it, mocking it up on stage. I put it on. They're standing there, and they're making fun of me because I put it on backwards. You can't tell. I don't know. And the next show, I get on stage. They're putting it on. They put it on backwards, too. So it's every once in a while we look dumb as well. More often than not.
Need an extension.
But we have corrected that, so that's a cool-looking bike. But, yeah.
If you want. Can you hold this in a clamp? You have a clamp that holds that?
We have a
Oh, that's
I have somebody talking in my ear as well. So, Bill, could you explain why you would shave forks?
Well, for one thing, for this application, they want to keep the brake, but they don't want the fender tabs. They're not going to have a fender on it, so you don't want these ugly tabs.
Right on.
You don't want these ugly tabs staying on it.
Yeah,
So.
we're keeping the brake. We're not keeping the front fender. We're going to run a 19 front and back on this. Yes, Chris.
I don't know if anybody noticed. Even the reflectors were a pain in the butt, but
Hey, does anybody out there have a narrow glide front end? Want a tool bag for it? Wait a second. Now,
I'm going to be cutting
it's
from this
autograph.
side.
What's that?
Should we just go while he's talking? Should we just go while he's talking?
That thing's going on a 1970 chopper, straight fork, because it just came out of storage after 30 years. Man, that's awesome. Couldn't have gone to a better place. Because we're chopper guys. Do I have a card? I don't have a card. Oh, go to Bling Cycles. Bling, he's over in Daytona. Like, he's this guy right here. He's got cards over there. This guy in the red shirt that's supposed to be Camel. Oops, give him a card.
No, we're not taking.
Go back to work. Barry, stop bothering him. Jeez, these guys, like they're not at work. Oh, he's drinking beer. He's not at work. You guys see what he's doing there? Can you see it on the screen?
So what we're doing here is cutting them close, but you don't want them too close so you put a nick in it. Then you got to start welding, and then you've ruined your fork leg, and all that stuff happens. So you just want to cut it off as close as you can to start with.
Bill, what are these fork legs made out of?
They're cast aluminum. I mean, some of the earlier ones, the 31 millimeters, things like that, they're made out of steel, but these are made out of aluminum, so they make them a lot easier to work with. When we get done with these, pretty much you just have to take them to a polishing wheel and just touch them to the
So you don't need a special cutoff tool or anything, just the...
These are some of the handiest tools there's ever been made. You know, that you can use air, the similar kind of thing, but with air, and it'll run out of air all day long. But the electricity never stops.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes the electricity, he knows. That guy's had his electricity cut off before. He knows sometimes.
That's why they make generators, son. But, you know, and these tools here that I've got with me, they're kind of special because I had that storm like we talked about, and I lost everything, and all my friends from around the world sent me tools like this. This one happens to say Irma on it, so I know it came from one of my buddies for that situation. So
last year, Bill, you know, his shop's on Beach Street in Daytona, and when the storm came and it flooded his entire shop. What, you hung like 26 bikes.
This table would have been underwater in my shop.
You hung like 26 custom motorcycle projects that he had from the rafters of his building so that the water didn't get to him. But
you learn real quick that the bottom 3 feet of your shop are more important than anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and he lost all of his memorabilia and all tools and everything. But so Bill's not using anything other than a regular cutoff wheel. You don't have to have anything special. And typically, you'd want to be wearing gloves to do this just in case you nick yourself. Bill is a professional, so he should know better. Bill's one of my heroes in the custom motorcycle world, though, so I'm not going to give him too hard a time. It wasn't many years ago that I just idolized Bill Dodge and didn't really know him, and then today he gave me his leftover ribs to eat. I feel real special. So,
all right, now
I've come a long way. You can do it with a bandsaw too.
Don't start calling me a millionaire again.
Oh yeah, Bill's a millionaire too. I introduced Bill as a millionaire years ago on stage, and I was just joking, and people started believing me. Started asking him how he made all his money. What's that? No. Bill said this was only going to take him 10 minutes, so we had to draw it out already. So.
He hasn't started yet.
So now this is where the trick comes in. Most people grind up and down, and your tube will no longer be round as soon as you do that. But if you hit it from the side at this flat spot, and you just touch it, just keep tapping it. Like at first you'll grind a lot off because it's heavy, but when you get down to the close, you just kind of tap it every once in a while, and as soon as you see the lines go away from where this was sanded, stop. You know, because after that, you've done ruined your fork leg.
Now you're into polishing territory.
Well, then you got to get the guy with the lathe and start working on it.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't have lathes. That's why I'm showing this. But
He doesn't run a DA stand around when he gets down low? One more trick. You see these are flapper wheels. Yep.
it's the only thing that works. You can get them big solid wheels. They don't work with a dam. They leave marks, real heavy marks. These flapper wheels work better than anything.
And then you DA it after you flap wheel it?
Got one right in the box. That's next.
Yeah.
You want to do this?
I did enough this week.
John McGowan says hello.
See how I'm not even to it yet, but it's
Still round.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Keep it round.
Just keep it round. Don't ever go flat, huh?
Don't get flat.
Mailman Kevin O'Brien says Mark's really trusting having you hold that thing so close to his hand.
Mark.
If you guys have any questions or anything, you can always come up and ask. If you need to see it a little better, let me know. We'll get you up here. You can take a look. What we do at Grease and Gears Garage is we really want to demystify the process of customizing things. You might not even ever do this yourself, but you might want to have it done. And that way, when you go to a shop, you can see whether or not the process they're using is one that is good. Plus, you'll kind of be able to gauge whether or not they're charging you the right amount. You know, you got to be able to know the value of the work too. So. And again, you want to be careful just tick, 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 ticking, because if not, you're either going to have to weld or you're going to have to go find a guy at a machine shop with a lathe.
I'm not exactly sure what this is.
Oh, it's a cod piece. I was just wearing that last night, and now you've put it on your face. If you had two. Was this over the headlight? Where was this? Oh, does anybody have a Sportster tank on their bike? Like a stock sporty tank? Don't be embarrassed. You do? Clean that up. That actually is a cover for the back of the tank. So like if you have a belt buckle on or something, you don't scratch the back part of your paint. Whoop, there we go. That was a pretty good shot. There you go.
So as you see, Pat, here, we're staying round. This shows you the bung that's still there. I haven't quite got it all the way gone, but if you notice here, it's still round and still clean. It's got some scratches in it, but the bung has completely disappeared. So.
Now, Mailman Kevin on Facebook, we're Facebook Live in this, wanted to know what grit you're using to do that.
Well, right here, these are 60s, but I will, when I go to the DA, I'll go from 150, 180.
So you're going to start with a 60 to kind of take this down, because again, these are aluminum, Mailman. So you're gonna take them down with a 60, and then you're going to go lighter, obviously, when you're cleaning them up.
Then we'll change to the DA sander, which is different than this. Then we'll step to all the different grits.
And again, if you just wandered up, we're Grease and Gears Garage. We build custom motorcycles at different shops all over the country. We travel around with our tools. By the grace of Progressive Motorcycle Insurance right now here in Leesburg, they brought us in. And we're just trying to demystify the process of building custom motorcycles, introduce you to the process, entertain you hopefully a little bit more than anything to inspire you to go out and actually do something to your own motorcycle, to actually get your hands on there. Until you've really worked on your own bike, it's just a machine. When you start to touch it and do stuff to it, you know, when she straps that on the back of her bike and has done that thing, if she's never worked on that bike before, every time she looks at her bike, she's going to be like, I put that on. This doesn't seem like a big thing, but it changes the relationship with your motorcycle when you start to actually touch it and work on it. And so that's the other thing we want to do. We want to encourage people not just to see these things as a form of transportation or recreation, that these are things we have a relationship with that then put us in relationship with the rest of the motorcycle community. Bill made that look really easy.
It is easy, trust me.
You'll usually only screw up one or two legs the first time.
Yeah, but you only got 2 on a motorcycle, Bill. Oh, thank you. I just got a Bling cycle sticker. I had a Bling cycle sticker momentarily.
Well, we know a guy. This thing goes right here. There it is.
Yeah, we got
Now,
some-
Bill, how long have you been in Daytona?
I've been in Daytona for about 4 or 5 years now.
And how long has Bling Cycles been in existence?
Well, I have been going forever. I actually started up my company 13 years ago.
13 years ago. But how long have you been building bikes?
Probably about 25 years.
25 years. And you're from, people talk about being from rough areas. Like, I'm from Detroit, or, I'm from Leesburg. But Bill was actually born and raised in Compton.
Those poor folks.
Man, I tell you. So Bill was a West Coast guy that started building out there and moved to the East Coast. How many bikes have you built in your lifetime, Bill? How many bikes have you built?
I don't know. At least 300.
At least 300 bikes?
I haven't quite caught up to Cochran. He's at the 500 mark.
Wow.
But I'm not far behind him.
Not far behind.
Come on, man. People say, how do you build bikes cheap? I said, because I want to build another one.
Well, and you've kind of developed your own style, too. Bill, you see a lot of bikes now, bobbers with the dirt bike tires on them. Nobody did that until Bill did it. Bill did that, and then all of us, and he got a couple of them in some magazines, and then all of a sudden, everybody kind of had that trend. Bill has a problem now with designing parts for his custom bikes and then having other shops copy them. And that's been a big thing. So Bill has started a lot of trends. He hadn't been able to capitalize on them quite yet.
And on the front side, if I'm not mistaken, below the bike.
So what I like
Billy
to do,
Simpson's
what I
with
like to
us.
do after this,
Yeah.
you see all these, they have all these cast lines and everything where the casting was done.
Yep. Can you see that on the
look.
camera there?
You can't really see it all that good.
Can you see that on the camera?
Can you
on the
guys see
monitors?
those little lines everywhere? Not so bad on this one, but on the other leg that has the leg piece, they're all over. So I take, when I got my 180 on there, sand on that area, get rid of that line.
Clean it up a little bit. Yeah, man.
You clean that stuff up. It's like it was never there. Noticed I started moving side to side. I can start doing that now that I'm using a DA and not using
Not
the heavy
taking as
grinder.
much material off. It's
Yeah,
just scratching little by little.
yeah, you can see the big differences.
Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, guys. Enjoy Leesburg. Chris, you're making good progress on this, Chris?
Go through some 320 now.
RJ has his own business,
hold it
and he's an
myself.
adult and pays bills. He's not real smart. We're building a custom bike. He said, are we leaving a horn on this thing? Yeah. You look like you haven't been horny in a while. You take that. Customizing a front wheel. Just changing its look and whatnot. Bill, that guy's got a question about how can you change up your front wheel like on this bike with a cast wheel? With a cast wheel, how would you change that up to customize it?
Like, what do you mean change it up? Get rid of it?
Yeah, get rid of the whole wheel. It's just a whole new wheel. I'm just trying to get a bigger size wheel on the bike.
What bike you got? a Vulcan. You can. They don't make a lot of these like cool wheels for the Vulcan, but what you can do is you can take a Harley wheel. If you want to run a brake on it, use a Harley caliper or the rotor on it, and then you take your axle from your bike, bring it to somebody, or if you can do it, machine it to the size of the bearing of the Harley wheel, and you can make any wheel work on your bike.
Yeah, like for instance,
or if your axle's too small in diameter to even work at all for that, then you just make a new one.
Yeah, and they can make a machine shop will make you a new axle. And one of the things I'll also tell you, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have the machinery, I don't know anybody. It's a great way to meet somebody is to go in with your motorcycle project and say, I really need an axle made for this, and these are the dimensions, and this is what I'm doing. And that machine shop, they might not know anything about motorcycles, but all day there's some guy standing there at a machine making the dumbest crap ever. You know, he's making a widget that goes on a whatnot, and he's going to make 1 million of them. And you come in and say, hey, can you help me design this? That guy is going to crap himself in ecstasy because he's going to get to do something that he's never done. So you can include other people in your project. So, yeah, I would do what he said. You pull that front wheel off, see what wheel you want, put it on there. Typically on a stock motorcycle, whether it's a Harley or a Vulcan, you're not going to be able to go much over 23 without having to do special triple trees and stuff. So, but you could do a 21 or a 23, something like that probably. But yeah, you're just figuring out that axle. Not a problem, man. You can do it though. I'd suggest, well, here in Florida it doesn't matter. I'm in Iowa. We always try to do those things in the winter so it doesn't cut out our riding time, but here you can ride year-round, so it don't matter. So, nothing worse than showing up in your Toyota to a motorcycle event, telling people about the cool bike you got that you couldn't ride because you disassembled it. That's the worst. Again, if you just joined us either on Facebook Live or here at Leesburg Bikefest, we're Grease and Gears Garage. We're here by the grace of Progressive Motorcycle Insurance, who, by the way, is giving away a brand new Indian Scout I found out here at this rally. If you go over there and see one of their girls wandering around with those pads, you can register to win a brand new motorcycle. It doesn't cost you anything. You might win a brand new Indian Scout here at Leesburg. But they're giving us the opportunity to build a bike for them, which is going to be a little flat track inspired bike. So this is the donor bike. So Chris Callan, my partner in crime with Grease and Gears Garage from Flat Broke Chops and Rods and Cycle Source Magazine. Man, you do a lot of stuff, man. You need to get paid more, Chris. Give yourself a raise. All right. Bill just got done building a bike here. If you guys want to see it, show him that. Yeah, I can get you another one. I'll get you. Yeah. Yeah.
You tighten them up. How tight should that turning be, or how loose should it be?
Oh, at your neck?
Yes.
You should want.
Feels like it's,
Yeah, you'll want to check those bearings in there. New bearings and stuff. You don't want to get it too tight. You want that wheel just to fall over a little bit. Just tight enough that when you set it up and it's not under any, that it just falls over a little bit when it's off. No pressure on it when the front wheel's not on the ground. Just want it to fall away a little bit. Yeah. So it's kind of a feel thing with that. Yeah. Yeah, so don't tighten it up too much because you'll want to seat those bearings. You know, you want to do that, but you don't want to, if you tighten it up too much, the thing will be like a wheelbarrow. Yep, it'll just fall over by itself slowly, just a little bit. Yep. So I'll get Heather. Heather, if we've got another one of those magazines back there, there's a fellow out here who's interested. On the front of this issue of Cycle Source is a bike built actually for a good friend of ours, mutual friend named Jeff Kelderman, who owns Kelderman Manufacturing, Oskaloosa, Iowa. It's a beautiful bike. Bill also has an event that he puts on up in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a part of. It's October 4th through the 7th. It's a brand new motorcycle event.
Loretta's house.
Talk a little bit about that, Bill.
Dude, that is such an amazing event. I mean, I don't mean it because it's our event.
Yeah.
I mean that it's the greatest place. You can camp. You never leave the place. There's beer. There's food. There's everything
It's
on
at
it.
Loretta
Music.
Lynn's Ranch, right?
Yeah. We shoot guns with. You can shoot up to a 50 cal there. I mean, you could do anything you want right on the property. You never have to leave.
Motorcycle event up at Loretta Lynn's, October 4th through the 7th. It's going to be a blast. I didn't get to go last year. I forget what happened last year. I didn't get to go up there. But this year I'm going to make it up. It's the second year, right?
There you go. There's a little comparison so far. The old leg that we cut, the new leg.
You can see the difference it makes. It hadn't taken that long. Hasn't taken really any special tools that you're going to have to go out of your way for, and just basic tools, and you're able to customize your bike.
Then if you run this 400 on it after I get done with this, pretty much that fork leg will be ready to go into the polisher. You can actually just take it to a wheel and start polishing it right now.
Right on.
That nice.
Now, Bill, when you're doing this at your shop, how many employees do you have working on these kinds of intense custom projects?
Just me. That's it. Oh, yeah. I do have my faithful pit bull that sits next to me every day.
He's got Buddy the pit bull sitting next to him every day. I do think that's one of the myths that we all like to bust about custom shops. It's like, I think people think there's a lot of money in it and that there's all these people that we have around doing it. Most of us are one-man shops. Chris has the nice thing at Flatbrook that he and Mark are together. And, of course, you always say Chris really doesn't even do anything. He's got to be on the phone. He's got to take a call. Is that it? Oh, he wants to take my picture. Don't take dirty pictures.
That's exactly why I did one leg. Because you get to do the next one.
See? Oh, okay, thanks.
It really is amazing how quick you did that, though. What's that? There you go. Now, again, if any of you are saying, boy, at the beginning of this, I really didn't know if I could do this, but now I wish I'd have paid more attention. This guy right here and the mustache, that guy, I looked at him earlier. I can't even see his eyes, but I can tell that guy has never paid attention a minute of his life. He is the guy right there that when, like in church, when the preacher's preaching, the preacher should give him an outline at the beginning so when he wakes up, he knows kind of if he's towards the end or not. That guy right there. So, but you're going to be able to go on YouTube. That's on the internet, on a computer. And you can look up Grease and Gears Garage.
This is where you can
and
tell
you're going to be able to
stuff.
watch this again and again and again and again and again.
When you're
and
doing all the
you
same
can go on there.
directions,
Everything's archived on there.
You don't
we
see
show
those
you
bad
on Grease
spots.
and Gears Garage
But now-
TV there on YouTube how to narrow tanks. We got a good fella. He's actually now the lead fabricator for Orange County Choppers, but he also has his own shop, Speakeasy
couple little
Motors
scratches
up
there
in
that still
New
need to
York.
come out, but that's about it.
Evan Favaro
Just
took
a few
just a
scratches here
flat
and there
sheet of
that need to
18
come
gauge
out.
steel in an hour and a half, made a custom motorcycle tank for us. It's one of our episodes.
Yeah,
Chris
400 makes it
Richardson
stand
from
out.
LA Speed Shop out in Los Angeles, House of Machines out there. He went ahead and narrowed a
bad,
fuel
right?
tank for us. So you can get on there and see a lot of cool
If we were at the
stuff.
shop, and because I was going to bring my sand and my polisher, I was going to do the whole thing, but I didn't want to bring that big heavy thing. Not bad, huh?
Now, Bill, you've gone from 60 to 180.
60 to 150, 180, 320, and 400.
400. So as sandpaper gets finer, the number gets higher.
Yeah, let me show these guys. What do you guys think? Not bad for a little bit of time. Couple of little tiny scratches that I still have to get out, but simple.
Yeah, that's just amazing. It's just
Not
cut
bad
the
for not
ears
getting a
off,
polishing
do
wheel
a
to
little
it
bit
yet,
of
right?
grinding, then some sanding. He's used
A couple little scratches I
two
still have to
tools.
get out, but that's about it.
That's it.
Nice and simple.
You can get your service manual for whatever bike you have. It'll
I'll
tell you
sand
how
it
to
some- a
take the
little
front
bit more
end
with
off and
sandpaper,
take all that apart.
and then you could take it to a buffing
Doesn't
wheel.
take
It'll
any
polish
special
right up,
tools.
like-
A basic
just like
set
the
of
ones on the front
hand
of that bike.
tools is all it took.
Yeah.
They're still
That's
on
all
here.
it takes.
You can do this. I mean, you can do custom stuff to your motorcycle. You know, you can take this now
That one's for you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wish I could keep it because that means I got to do this when I get home, and I could just take this.
Hey,
one.
you know what he does? He gets it all ready and done, and then he takes it over to this guy named Jose that polishes it for him.
Exactly. I was telling him, man. I said, "How'd you get that thing so polished?" He said, "Well, I take it to the wheel," and I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm out. I'm out." Polishing is no joke, though.
I do all my own now, so.
But
I
that's
know.
hard work.
Yeah.
Polishing. If you guys ever take anything and a guy says, "You're going to charge me how much to polish it?" Just go ahead, take your hand out of your pocket, ball it up, and punch yourself in the throat. Because polishing is hard work, man.
My wife asks me every time I come home after polishing, "Have you been working with the Tin Man today?" Because that's what I look like.
It just gets, it's all over you all the time. So you look silver.
me to do the
You
other
turn
one, or you wanna do
silver. So, well, Bill,
Huh?
that's it, right?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Thank you for putting up with me.
All right, guys. That's
I know
Grease and Gears Garage.
It's not much
Bill
to
Dodge
do, but it's
from
a
Bling Cycles.
good little something to take home with you if you didn't know what you were doing.
There you go.
Thank you
Now,
very much.
give out your website, your Instagram.
Well, my name's Bill Dodge. I have Bling Cycles, BLINGS Cycles. It's the same thing on Instagram, Bling Cycles. You'll see a little ghetto comb as my logo.
You're like an
know it's me.
Afro pick is his logo. He's from Compton, right?
You could stop by over here too. We'll be over here for the next couple days.
And he's set up right over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, Grease and Gears Garage, thank you, Progressive Motorcycle Insurance. Thank you, Leesburg Bikefest. Thanks, folks, who joined us on Facebook Live. And thank you guys so much for being here. Give us some love on Progressive MC on social media. Tell him you like Grease and Gears Garage. They'll bring us
You
back
gotta
next
work,
year.
man.
Thank you
You
so
gotta
much.
Hey, take that home with you. Have a good day. Thanks for listening to me.
Oh, listen. No, no one.
I'm nervous about up here, just in case you couldn't tell.